I've been talking a lot recently about food since it's the holiday season, but the one thing I haven't touched on yet is alcohol. And that is actually my second most common question I get is, can I still drink alcohol? And the short answer is yes. But in this video, we're going to go through a little bit of the long answer. I want to take a minute to dig a little bit deeper about the impact of alcohol on your fat loss journey, how you can incorporate it, when you can incorporate it best, and then even touch a little bit on how you can include it in your food log, because unfortunately you can't just scan the label like you can many other things to accurately track it. So again, the short answer is yes, you can drink alcohol, but the long answer is, and it's really no secret, but alcohol hinders your overall health and wellness progress. That's not to say you can't ever have it. You can't enjoy your favorite glass of wine or your favorite cocktail now and then, but generally speaking, it's detrimental to your goal. It's a detriment to your goals if alcohol is constantly present in your diet, and there are a few reasons why. One, if you're tracking macros, you already know that your body uses carbohydrates first as its first fuel source, okay? It's your body's preferred source of energy. Once you've burned through all your carbohydrates, your body will then begin to burn fat. However, if alcohol is in your system, your body must burn through or metabolize all of that first because it sees it as a toxin. So your liver's gonna process that first and get it out of your system, detoxify your body before it's going to burn carbs or fats. So if you're drinking often, you can see why it would be difficult to dip into that fat burn because your body's so busy detoxifying itself, then going through the carbohydrates before it even gets to the fat. So second reason why is alcohol drinks are typically mostly empty calories. Specifically, the alcohol in them is empty calories. This means that you're adding to your overall caloric intake without reaping any nutritional benefits. Not only that, while you're drinking away these calories, you still must eat and satiate your hunger. So even if you're eating a normal amount of food to satiate your hunger, you'll be in a surplus by drinking alcohol. Actually, according to an article by Johns Hopkins Medicine, the effects of alcohol actually goes way beyond our brains. It does give us that carefree feeling, and we think we're getting from these beverages, but alcohol also affects your hormones. It affects your blood chemistry, your blood glucose levels. It affects your wake and sleep cycles. You're going to not sleep as well, which is going to cause cravings for carbohydrates the next day. It also encourages an inflammatory chemical production within your body. So all of these things will slow fat burn as well. So it's not only the mental effect that it has, but there's a true physiological effect that alcohol has on your system. Now, most alcoholic beverages, including beer, have simple sugars. Too many simple sugars can turn into excessive body fat. It's why you hear it called the beer gut, okay? The one last thing I want to point out is that alcohol does lower your inhibitions. That's why we know and love it. But when you're drinking alcohol, you're often going to eat foods that you would not typically indulge in because of these lowered inhibitions. So back to reason number one, if your body's burning through all of this alcohol first before fats and carbs, and then you have those indulgences that you wouldn't typically have. On top of that, there's a much greater chance for those extra carbs and fats from the indulgences to actually be stored as body fat than if you ate those indulgences without the alcohol, because your body doesn't have to burn through the alcohol first before it starts burning through those indulgences. In a nutshell, we simply cannot drink alcohol every single night and believe that we're giving ourselves the greatest chance at fighting off illness, burning fat, building a lean, toned body, or even just showing up as the best version of ourselves. However, I'm realistic, and I do know there are times that many of us are going to want to grab and enjoy a cocktail or a glass of wine, and I don't want you to be afraid to drink on occasion. After all, if that is part of your lifestyle, that's going to need to be a part of your healthy lifestyle so that it can actually be sustainable and practical for you. But the point of this is that knowledge is power. so that when you do choose to drink, I recommend that you choose something like a low carb or a low calorie drink, such as a White Claw, skinny margaritas, ranch water, vodka with salsa, a seltzer and lime. My favorite is a ranch water, which is just tequila, soda, and lime, typically Topo Chico or High Noon. But I always want you to count them towards your macros. And this can actually be a little bit tricky since you can't simply just scan the barcode here like you can for many foods. And that's because alcohol actually has no macros. It's just empty calories. So you have to manually account for those calories because they are not a carb, a fat, or a protein. So I'm going to explain with this High Noon. It has 3 grams of carbohydrates, 0 grams of fat, and 0 grams of protein, but it's 100 calories. So each gram of carbohydrate produces 4 calories. So when we multiply the 3 grams of carbs that are in here with 4, you get the calorie content, okay, which is 12. So there should be 12 calories in here because it's 0 and 0 for fats and proteins, but it's actually 100 because the other 88 calories are coming from the pure alcohol in this drink. Okay, so you have to account for that alcohol content as either a carb or a fat. Do not count it as protein. You have to account for it, period. Do it as a carb or a fat. Don't count it as protein. Protein is way too important to track it as an alcohol, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to take that 88 empty calories from the alcohol and divide it by 4 to count it as a carb, or divide it by 9 to count it as a fat. So in this drink in particular, you take that 88 divided by 4, and it would be 22 grams of carbs, or divide it by 9, and it would be 9 grams of extra fat that you would need to track. So I hope this helps you understand a little bit more about how you need to enjoy alcohol. When is the best thing to do it? Things to be mindful of as you're enjoying alcohol, and how to track it when you do.